On December 23rd at SeaTac International Airport, my daughter looked me in the eye and said, "You're flying economy and we're in business class. I don't want you sitting with us. It would be awkward." I'm Amara Thompson. I'm 64 years old. I said, "Okay." What my daughter didn't know was that I had paid $19,247 for all 4 of their business class tickets just 5 days earlier. My name is Amara Thompson, and I need to tell you this story. If you're listening from somewhere far away, drop your city in the comments so I can see how far this has traveled. And please, stay with me until the end. Because what happened next changed everything. Let me start from the beginning, so you understand how I got to that moment in the airport, standing alone with my worn carry-on suitcase while my only daughter walked away from me. I was born in Seattle in 1961, but my parents came from Nigeria in 1958. My father, Emmanuel Thompson, arrived with $37 in his pocket and a dream. My mother, Kioma, followed 2 years later, wearing the only dress she owned. What she didn't wear was her wedding jewelry. She'd sold every piece of gold to pay for my father's passage to America. They taught me that family was everything, that you sacrifice for your children, that you give until it hurts, and then you give more. For 64 years, I believed that with my whole heart. My late husband, James Thompson, was an engineer at Boeing. I taught 3rd grade at Rainier Valley Elementary for 33 years. We weren't rich, but we were careful. Every dollar mattered. After James died 3 years ago from pancreatic cancer, he left me our paid-off house in the Beacon Hill neighborhood, a retirement fund of $487,000, and life insurance of $650,000. James made me promise something on his deathbed. I can still see him in that hospital room at Swedish Medical Center, the machines beeping, his hand so thin in mine. "Amara," he whispered, "promise me you'll take care of yourself. Don't let anyone take advantage of your generous heart." He squeezed my fingers. "Not even family. Especially not family. Promise me." I promised. 3 months after his funeral, I broke that promise. I just didn't know it yet. Our daughter, Brittany Thompson Hayes, was 40 years old. She'd married Derek Hayes 7 years ago, a white man who worked in finance at Moss Adams. They lived in a beautiful home in Hartford, Connecticut, with our 2 grandchildren, Maya, 12 years old, and Jordan, 9. The requests started small, almost reasonable. It was March 2023 when Brittany first called. "Mom, I hate to ask, but we're in a bind. Derek's car died. The transmission is completely shot. We need a reliable vehicle for the kids' activities. Could you help with the down payment? Just $15,000. We'll pay you back when Derek's bonus comes through in June." I transferred $15,000 on March 18th, 2023. June came and went. No repayment. But I didn't ask. Family doesn't keep score, right? In May 2023, "Mom, Maya tested into the gifted program at Choate Rosemary Hall. It's $12,000 for the deposit. This is her future. You want the best for your granddaughter, don't you?" I had transferred $12,000 on May 22nd, 2023. In August 2023, "Mom, the home inspector found mold in our kitchen. It's a health hazard for the kids. We need to do a complete remodel. Could you help? $35,000. Derek's Q3 bonus is guaranteed." I transferred $35,000 on August 9th, 2023. The pattern continued. Each time, Brittany's voice on the phone was urgent, desperate, and each time she promised Derek's bonus was coming, that they'd pay me back soon, that this was the last time. November 2023. Emergency roof repair, $22,000. January 2024. Maya's orthodontics can't wait, $18,000. March 2024. Jordan made the elite travel soccer team, $9,500. May 2024. The property taxes are due and we're short, $8,000. July 2024. Derek's car needs major repairs, $6,800. September 2024. Maya's school trip to Europe, $7,400. Every time I clicked transfer on my banking app, every time I told myself, this is what mothers do. This is what grandmothers do. My own mother sold her gold for family. This is just money. But then came December. I hadn't seen my grandchildren since August. 4 months. Maya and Jordan were growing up without me, and it hurt. When Brittany called on December 9th, I was overjoyed. "Mom, we're doing something special this Christmas. Derek found an amazing chalet in Aspen, Colorado. 5 bedrooms, hot tub, mountain views. We want you to come. It'll be perfect. You, me, Derek, and the kids. A real family Christmas." "Oh, Brittany, that sounds wonderful. When are you going?" "December 23rd through the 28th. I'll text you the flight details." The details arrived within an hour. Alaska Airlines, Flight 704, Seattle to Aspen, December 23rd, departing at 10:15 a.m. I looked up the economy ticket price, $1,847. I didn't hesitate. I booked it immediately. Christmas with my family was worth any price. Then, on December 17th, Brittany called again. "Mom, I have bad news." Her voice was strained. "Derek's company was supposed to comp our flights. It was going to be a business write-off, but it fell through. The whole trip is in jeopardy. We might have to cancel and the kids will be devastated." My heart sank. "Oh no. How much do you need?" "The business class tickets are $4,800 each. For all 4 of us, it's $19,247 with taxes." She paused. "Mom, I know it's a lot, but we'll pay you back in January. Derek's year-end bonus is definitely coming. His manager confirmed it. We'll have the money by mid-January. I promise." I looked at my checking account balance, $43,566. I looked at my calendar. Christmas was in 6 days. I looked at the photo on my mantle, Maya and Jordan, taken 2 years ago, before they'd gotten too old to hug their grandma without hesitation. "I'll transfer it today," I said. "Oh, Mom, thank you. You're saving Christmas. The kids are going to be so happy. I love you so much." I transferred $19,247 on December 17th, 2024. As I clicked confirm, I thought about my mother's words. A mother's love has no limits. I thought I was being loving. I didn't know I was being used. December 23rd arrived cold and gray. I woke at 5 a.m. in the house James and I had bought in 1989. Every room held memories. The kitchen where I'd taught Brittany to make my mother's jollof rice. The living room where James and I had danced at midnight on New Year's Eve. The bedroom where he'd died in my arms. I packed my small carry-on, the same one James had bought me for our 25th anniversary trip to Vancouver. I didn't need much. 2 sweaters, 1 nice outfit for Christmas dinner, comfortable pants, my toiletries. I'd learned to travel light from years of teacher conferences and family visits. My friend Gloria Washington called as I was leaving. "Amara, baby, you sure about this trip?" Gloria was 66, a retired family law attorney, and the friend who'd held my hand through James's funeral. We'd met at the University of Washington in 1979, 2 young black women navigating a predominantly white campus. 50 years later, she was still the wisest person I knew. "It's Christmas with my grandchildren, Gloria. Of course I'm sure." "I know, but..." She hesitated. "How much have you given Brittany this year?" "I don't keep track. She's my daughter." "Amara," Gloria's voice was firm, "I love you, but you need to set boundaries. Your mama taught you about sacrifice, but she also taught you about self-respect. Remember that." I remembered my mother, Kioma, in her small apartment in Rainier Beach before she died in 2019. She'd worked as a nursing assistant for 40 years, her hands cracked from constant washing. But she'd walked with her head high, always. "I'll be fine, Gloria. I'll call you from Aspen." I drove to SeaTac Airport in my 2015 Toyota Camry. The airport was chaos, holiday travelers everywhere, families with crying babies, couples arguing about luggage. I found parking in the economy lot and took the shuttle to the terminal. Alaska Airlines, check-in counter, Terminal A. I saw them before they saw me. Brittany stood at the premium check-in counter, her hair freshly highlighted in that caramel blonde she'd started wearing 5 years ago. She wore a white Canada Goose parka. I recognized it from Nordstrom, $1,295. Her Louis Vuitton luggage set sat at her feet. I'd seen those online once, $4,800 for the set. Derek stood beside her in a black North Face jacket, scrolling through his iPhone 15 Pro. He didn't look up. He never looked up. Maya and Jordan sat on a nearby bench, both glued to their iPads. Maya wore Lululemon leggings and a Patagonia fleece. Jordan had AirPods Max headphones, $549 I knew because he'd mentioned wanting them for his birthday. None of them looked like a family struggling to pay property taxes. I pulled my modest carry-on toward them, my winter coat from Target, my sensible boots from DSW. "Brittany!" I called out, waving. She turned. For just a moment, just a flash, I saw something in her face. Not joy, not even neutral pleasantness. It was discomfort. She whispered something to Derek. He glanced up from his phone, looked at me, then looked away. No wave, no smile. Brittany walked over, her expression tight. "Mom, you're here. Not 'I'm so glad to see you,' not 'Merry Christmas,' just 'you're here.'" "Of course I'm here." I reached out to hug her, but she took a small step back. "I'm so excited. Where are the kids? I brought their—" "Listen, Mom." She cut me off, her voice low. "There's been with the seating." My smile faltered. "A situation?" She glanced back at Derek, who was now watching us with an expression I couldn't quite read. Cold. Calculating. Derek's company only comped 3 business class tickets. She shrugged as if the universe itself had conspired against me. "We tried to get you upgraded, but everything was sold out. You're going to be in economy." I felt something shift in my chest. "Oh, that's okay, honey. I don't mind economy. I just want to spend Christmas with— The thing is," she moved closer, her voice dropping even lower, "you're in economy and we're in business class. I don't want you sitting with us." Time seemed to stop. The airport noise faded. I stared at my daughter, my only child, the baby I'd nursed through colic and pneumonia, the girl I'd stayed up with during college application stress, the woman whose wedding I'd helped pay for. "You don't want me sitting with you," I repeated slowly. "It would be awkward, Mom. The business class cabin is small. We want to relax as a family. You get it, right? It's not personal." Not personal. I thought of the $19,247 I'd transferred 5 days ago. I thought of the $35,000 for the kitchen with the mold. I thought of the $22,000 for the emergency roof repair. I thought of my mother, Kioma, selling her wedding gold so my father could have a future. And I remembered something my grandmother used to say in Igbo. "The child who says their mother's food is not sweet will cook for themselves tomorrow." "I understand," I said quietly. Brittany's face brightened with relief. She actually smiled. "Thanks for being cool about it, Mom. See you at the chalet." She patted my shoulder, actually patted it, like I was a child who'd just agreed to eat vegetables, and walked back to her family. I stood there, frozen, watching her lean down to kiss Jordan's head, watching her laugh at something Derek said, watching Maya look up briefly, see me, then look back down at her iPad without waving. They looked like a perfect family. Beautiful, coordinated, expensive. And I looked like what I was, an old black woman in a Target coat, not good enough to sit with them on the plane I'd paid for. Something cold and hard settled in my chest. Not quite anger yet. Something more like clarity. The clarity my husband had begged me to find. The clarity my friend Gloria had been trying to give me. The clarity that comes when you finally see the truth you've been running from. Gate A7 for business class passengers. Gate C34 for economy. I walked to C34, pulling my carry-on behind me. The gate area was crowded, every seat taken. I found a space against the wall and stood there, watching families, couples, solo travelers. My phone buzzed. A text from Gloria. "Safe flight, baby. Call me when you land. Love you." I typed back. "Love you too." Then I opened my banking app. My fingers shook as I scrolled through my transaction history for the past 2 years. March 18th, 2023. Transfer to Brittany T. Hayes. $15,000. May 22nd, 2023. Transfer to Brittany T. Hayes. $12,000. August 9th, 2023. Transfer to Brittany T. Hayes. $35,000. November 3rd, 2023. Transfer to Brittany T. Hayes. $22,000. January 15th, 2024. Transfer to Brittany T. Hayes. $18,000. I kept scrolling. The numbers blurred together. The requests, the emergencies, the promises. I opened my notes app and started a new document. I titled it, Brittany, Financial Record. Then I went through every single transaction, one by one, typing them into the list. The date, the amount, the reason she'd given, the promise to repay. When I finished, I stared at the total. $214,680. In 24 months, I had transferred $214,680 to my daughter. I had received back exactly $0. The gate agent announced boarding for my flight. Economy passengers, rows 25 through 35, please board at this time. I was in row 32, seat B. I boarded the plane, found my seat between a businessman with a cough and a teenager with headphones, and sat down. Somewhere in the front of this plane, in business class, my daughter was settling into the seat I'd bought her, probably accepting a complimentary glass of champagne, probably smiling. As the plane taxied to the runway, I did something I'd never done before. I called my bank. First National Bank of Seattle, this is Jessica speaking. How may I help you today? I pressed the phone closer to my ear, trying to hear over the engine noise. Yes, hello. This is Amara Thompson. Account number 473899210045. I need to review my account transactions for the past 24 months. Certainly, Mrs. Thompson. For security purposes, can you verify your date of birth and the last 4 digits of your Social Security number? I provided the information, my hands shaking. Thank you, ma'am. I'm pulling up your accounts now. What specifically are you looking for? All transfers over $5,000. Can you email me a detailed statement to amara.thompson1961@gmail.com? Of course. Give me just a moment. While Jessica typed, I stared at the seat back in front of me. When had it started? Really started? Not the requests for money. Those had always existed in small amounts. But when had I become someone my own daughter was ashamed to sit next to? Mrs. Thompson, I'm showing quite a few large transfers. The statement will be comprehensive. Is there anything else I can help you with today? I hesitated. Then, yes. I need information about establishing a revocable living trust. There was a pause. I can transfer you to our estate planning department, but they're closed until Monday. Would you like me to schedule a call back? Please, Monday morning, first available. I have 9:30 a.m. on Monday, December 28th. Does that work? That's perfect. You're all set, Mrs. Thompson. Is there anything else? No, thank you. I hung up. The plane lifted off the runway, Seattle disappearing below us. I opened my email. The bank statement loaded slowly on the plane's Wi-Fi. There it was. All of it. Every transfer, with dates, amounts, and the notes I'd included. Brittany, car down payment. Brittany, school deposit. Brittany, kitchen emergency. $214,680. I downloaded the statement. Then I opened a new browser window and searched. Estate Planning Attorney Seattle. Then, Financial Elder Abuse Washington State. Then, Protecting Assets from Family Members. The flight attendant's voice came over the intercom. We've reached our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. You may now use approved electronic devices. I searched one more thing. How to cut off an ungrateful child. Dozens of articles appeared. Hundreds of forum posts. Thousands of people asking the same question I was asking. I wasn't alone. We landed in Aspen at 2:47 p.m. Mountain Time. I waited until everyone in business class had deplaned. I didn't want to see Brittany, Derek, and the kids yet. I needed to collect myself first. When I finally walked through the terminal, I saw them at baggage claim. Derek was on his phone. Brittany was checking her reflection in a compact mirror. The kids were, predictably, on their iPads. Mom, Brittany called out when she saw me, all brightness now. There you are. How was your flight? Fine, I said. Great. Derek rented an Escalade. We'll all fit. We drove through Aspen in awkward silence. The town was beautiful. Snow-covered mountains, Christmas lights, people in expensive ski gear. I sat in the back between Maya and Jordan. Neither of them spoke to me. Neither looked up from their screens. The chalet was on Red Mountain Road, a stunning 3-story structure with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the slopes. Derek pulled into the driveway, and my daughter said, Mom, you're in the back bedroom upstairs. It's cozy. Cozy meant small. The smallest room in the house. More of a maid's room, really, tucked behind the kitchen. Twin bed, no attached bathroom. A window that looked out at the garbage bins. Derek and Brittany took the master suite with the stone fireplace, balcony, and spa bathroom. Maya and Jordan had the bunk room with the game console, big screen TV, and mountain views. I had the maid's room. I unpacked my small suitcase and sat on the twin bed. Through the thin wall, I could hear laughter, board games, family time. No one knocked on my door to invite me. At 9 p.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway, a soft knock. "Grandma?" Jordan's voice. I opened the door immediately. My grandson stood there in his Christmas pajamas, looking small and uncertain. "Hey, sweetheart, what's up?" "Mom says breakfast is at 8 tomorrow. She wanted me to tell you." "Okay, thank you, honey." He started to leave, then turned back. "Grandma, are you mad at us?" My heart cracked. "No, baby. Why would you think that?" He shrugged. "Mom said you didn't want to sit with us on the plane." The lie took my breath away. "Jordan, that's not—" I started. "Jordan, bedtime!" Brittany's voice called from downstairs. He ran off. I closed the door and sat back on the twin bed, shaking. She was rewriting the story, making me the problem, the difficult mother, the one who chose to sit alone. I opened my laptop and logged into my email. The bank statement was there, all 47 pages of it. I opened Facebook. Brittany's page was mostly private, but occasionally her privacy settings slipped. I scrolled through. 2 weeks ago, a photo of Brittany and Derek at a charity gala. She wore a black dress I recognized from the Vera Wang website. I'd seen it when we went window shopping online together last spring. $4,200. The caption, "Supporting education in Connecticut, 42 likes, comments, you look stunning." Power couple. Goals. 1 week ago, a photo in front of a silver Mercedes G-Wagon. Caption, "Finally upgraded, #blessed. Comments, "Congratulations. So happy for you guys. You deserve it." I clicked on the photo. In the background, through the garage door, I could see the kitchen. The kitchen I'd paid $35,000 to remediate for mold. It looked like something from Architectural Digest. Custom white cabinets, marble countertops, wolf range, wine fridge, pot filler above the stove. There had been no mold. They had wanted a designer kitchen, and I had paid for it. I closed my laptop and lay back on the twin bed in the maid's room of the chalet I'd essentially paid for, listening to my family laugh together downstairs, and I thought, my husband was right. Gloria was right. My mother, who sold her gold but kept her dignity, was right. I pulled out my phone and opened a new note. To do Monday, December 28th. 1. Call estate planning attorney. 9:30 a.m. 2. Secure all financial documents 3. Create timeline of all transfers 4. Do not give Brittany any more money 5. Do not apologize for setting boundaries 6. Remember, you are worthy of respect. I saved the note. Then I lay in the darkness, listening to the Colorado wind outside my window, and I made a decision. This was not about revenge. This was about reclaiming myself. At 64 years old, I was finally going to learn what my mother had tried to teach me all along. Love without boundaries isn't love. It's enablement, and I was done enabling. Christmas morning arrived with false cheerfulness. I woke at 6 a.m. in my small room, hearing the sounds of my family stirring downstairs. The smell of coffee and cinnamon rolls. Someone had ordered breakfast delivery, probably spending another $100 they'd claimed they couldn't afford. I dressed carefully. The burgundy sweater James had loved, my good black pants, the pearl earrings my mother had given me on my 40th birthday. If this was going to be a performance, I would look dignified. When I came downstairs at 8:15 a.m., everyone was already gathered in the living room around a massive Christmas tree. There were easily 50 wrapped presents underneath it, all in coordinated silver and white paper. "Merry Christmas, Mom," Brittany chirped, too bright. "We're just starting presents. Sit here." She gestured to a chair slightly separated from the family circle on the couch. I sat. Derek distributed gifts with the efficiency of a logistics manager. "Maya, this one's for you from Mom and Dad. Jordan, here's yours. Brittany, from me to you." I watched my daughter unwrap a Cartier box. She gasped, pulling out a rose gold love bracelet. "Derek! Oh my God, this is too much." He kissed her forehead. "Nothing's too much for you, babe." I knew that bracelet. I'd seen it at the Nordstrom jewelry counter once. $7,850. Maya unwrapped an iPhone 15 Pro. Jordan got AirPods Max and a new iPad. Brittany received a Burberry cashmere scarf, a Tiffany necklace, and the Cartier bracelet. Then Brittany handed me a small gift bag from TJ Maxx. I could see the clearance sticker. $14.99, marked down from $24.99. Inside were 3 candles: Vanilla Comfort, Winter Woods, Cinnamon Spice. "I thought you'd like those for your house, Mom," Brittany said. "You always have candles burning." "Thank you, honey." I kept my voice steady. Then I distributed my gifts. For each grandchild, I'd made a quilt, 40 hours of work each, incorporating traditional Nigerian attire patterns in blues and golds. I'd embroidered their names and birth dates in the corners. Maya unwrapped hers and said, "Thanks, Grandma," without looking up from her new iPhone. Jordan said, "Cool," and set his aside to return to his iPad. Brittany didn't even pretend. "Mom, these are beautiful, but where are the kids going to put them? Our aesthetic is more minimalist." I thought of my mother, Kioma, spending her evenings sewing clothes for me by hand because we couldn't afford store-bought. I thought of the pride in her eyes when she'd finished each piece. "I'll take them back home with me," I said quietly. After presents, Derek took the kids skiing. Brittany and I cleaned up the wrapping paper in silence. Then she poured herself a glass of white wine, it was 10:30 a.m., and turned to me. "Mom, can we talk?" Here it comes, I thought. We sat at the kitchen island, my $35,000 kitchen island, though she didn't know I knew that. "I hate to ask, especially on Christmas, but we're in a bit of a bind." She swirled her wine. "The property tax bill came, and it's higher than we expected. We're short about $8,000. I know it's a lot, but Derek's year-end bonus is definitely coming in February. His manager confirmed it in writing. We can pay you back by March 1st at the latest." She looked at me with those eyes. Brittany had always had beautiful eyes, like James's mother. "Could you help us out? Just this one last time?" This one last time. I'd heard that phrase 17 times in 2 years. Something in me, something that had been bending and bending for 24 months, finally snapped. "I need to think about it," I sassy said. Brittany blinked. "What?" I said I need to think about it. Her face shifted from surprise to something harder. "Mom, are you feeling okay? You're usually so generous. Is the altitude affecting you?" "The altitude is fine, Brittany. It's just..." She set down her wine glass carefully. "You're acting different. Maybe we should have you see a doctor while we're here. There's an urgent care in town." "I don't need a doctor. I need to think about your request." She stared at me for a long moment. Then she picked up her phone and texted someone. I saw Derek's name at the top of the screen. "Okay, Mom." Her voice had gone cold. "You think about it." She left the kitchen. I sat alone at the counter, my hands shaking. It was the first time in 2 years I'd said no, and it felt like jumping off a cliff. The rest of Christmas Day was strained. Derek returned with the kids, and the temperature in the house dropped noticeably. Dinner was catered: prime rib, truffle mashed potatoes, roasted vegetables, and everyone made small talk around me as if I were a stranger. That night, back in my small room, I couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., I opened my laptop and searched. Sarah Mitchell Estate Planning, Seattle. I found her website, Patterson & Associates, Elder Law and Estate Planning. Her photo showed a black woman in her mid-40s, professional but warm. Her bio mentioned she specialized in protecting seniors from financial exploitation. I clicked Request Consultation and filled out the form, my fingers trembling. Subject: Urgent. Asset Protection. Message: Dear Ms. Mitchell, I am a 64-year-old widow who needs help protecting my assets from family members. I have transferred $214,680 to my daughter over 24 months with promises of repayment. Nothing has been repaid. I believe I am being financially exploited. I need help immediately. Amara Thompson. I hit send at 2:47 a.m. Monday, December 28th. I woke to my phone buzzing. 9 a.m. It was First National Bank. Mrs. Thompson, this is Jessica from Estate Planning. We have you scheduled for a callback at 9:30. Is this still a good time? Yes, thank you. Perfect. Michael Chen from our estate planning department will call you shortly. At 9:30 a.m. exactly, my phone rang. Mrs. Thompson, this is Michael Chen. I understand you're interested in establishing a trust? I stepped outside onto the chalet's back deck, closing the door behind me. The morning air was freezing, but I needed privacy. Mr. Chen, I need to protect my assets. From my daughter. I heard him typing. Can you tell me more about your situation? I told him everything. The transfers, the promises, the airport, the Christmas candles versus the Cartier bracelet. When I finished, there was a pause. Mrs. Thompson, I'm going to be direct with you. What you're describing is a pattern of financial exploitation. I think you need an attorney who specializes in this area. I'm going to refer you to Sarah Mitchell at Patterson & Associates. She's excellent, and she handles cases like yours regularly. I actually already reached out to her. Good. She'll take care of you. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you do not transfer any additional funds to your daughter. I won't. And Mrs. Thompson, document everything. Every request, every promise, every interaction. If this escalates, you'll need evidence. At 11 a.m., Sarah Mitchell called. Mrs. Thompson, I received your consultation request. I'd like to meet with you as soon as possible. When do you return to Seattle? Tomorrow, December 29th. Can you come to my office at 2 p.m.? I've reviewed your initial information, and I believe you need immediate legal protection. Tuesday, December 29th. I flew home alone. Brittany, Derek, and the kids were staying in Aspen through New Year's Eve. The goodbye at the chalet was perfunctory. Safe flight, Mom, Brittany said, not hugging me. Thanks for coming, Derek added, though his eyes were on his phone. The kids waved from the couch, not pausing their video game. I drove my Camry from SeaTac straight to Patterson & Associates on 4th Avenue in downtown Seattle. Sarah Mitchell's office overlooked Elliott Bay. She stood when I entered, a tall black woman with natural hair and kind eyes behind stylish glasses. Mrs. Thompson, please sit. I sat across from her desk and handed her the folder I'd prepared. 47 pages of bank statements, highlighted transfers, a timeline I'd constructed during sleepless nights in Aspen. Sarah opened the folder and began reading. I watched her face as she processed the numbers, the patterns, the sheer volume of money that had flowed from my accounts to Brittany's. After 10 minutes, she looked up. Mrs. Thompson, I need to ask you something directly. Did your daughter coerce these transfers? Were you threatened or manipulated? No, I said quietly. She asked. I gave. Every single time. And she promised repayment every single time. How much has been repaid? $0. Sarah nodded slowly. All right, here's what we're going to do. She pulled out a legal pad and started writing. First, we establish a revocable living trust. All your assets, your home, your investment accounts, your savings, transfer into the trust. You maintain complete control as trustee, but the assets are protected from claims. Second, we draft a new will. I'm assuming your current will names Brittany as primary beneficiary? I nodded. We'll restructure that. Set up educational trusts for your grandchildren that mature when they turn 30, not 18 or 25. Name charities for the remainder. Brittany gets nothing she can access immediately. The words should have hurt. Instead, they felt like relief. Third, we update your power of attorney. Who currently has that? Brittany. We change it. Do you have a friend you trust completely? Gloria Washington. She's a retired attorney. We've been friends since college. Perfect. She becomes your power of attorney for both financial and healthcare decisions. Sarah leaned forward. Mrs. Thompson, I need you to understand something. Once we file this paperwork, your daughter will likely find out. If she's monitoring your accounts, if she's named on anything, there will be notifications. Are you prepared for that confrontation? I thought of the airport, of the maid's room, of the $14.99 candles. I'm prepared, I said. One more thing. We need to close the joint savings account immediately, today, before she can access it. There's $38,000 in that account. Then we close it today and transfer the funds to a new account in your name only. We'll do it right now while you're here. Sarah called First National Bank on speakerphone. Within 30 minutes, the joint account with Brittany was closed. The funds were in a new account, Amara Thompson, sole owner. How long will the trust and will take? I asked. The trust can be established within 1 week. The will revision immediately after. We'll expedite everything. My fee is $8,500. I can pay that today, Sarah smiled. Mrs. Thompson, there's one more thing. Your daughter may attempt to have you declared incompetent if she realizes she's losing access to your money. It's a common tactic in financial exploitation cases. My blood ran cold. She can do that? She can try. That's why we're going to be proactive. I'm referring you to Dr. Eleanor Brooks, a neuropsychologist. She'll conduct a comprehensive cognitive evaluation. We'll have documentation showing you're of completely sound mind. Any attempt to claim otherwise will fail. On January 2nd, 2025, I sat in Dr. Eleanor Brooks's office for 4 hours. She tested my memory, my cognitive function, my decision-making capacity, my emotional stability. "Mrs. Thompson," she said at the end, smiling warmly, "you're sharper than most 40-year-olds I evaluate. Perfect recall, excellent executive function, superior judgment. I'll have the formal report ready in 3 days, but I can tell you now, there's absolutely no indication of cognitive impairment. Your daughter's potential petition would be frivolous." I exhaled a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. On January 4th, Sarah filed all the paperwork. The trust was established. The will was revised. Gloria was named as power of attorney. "Now we wait," Sarah said. "Brittany will get notifications within 48 hours. I went home and waited. January 6th, my phone rang at 10:47 a.m. "Mom, what the hell is going on?" Brittany's voice was shrill, accusatory. I was in my kitchen making tea. I set down the kettle carefully before answering. "Hello, Brittany. How are you?" "How am I? I'm confused, Mom. I tried to access the joint savings account, the one you set up so I could help you manage things, and it's gone, closed. The bank says all your accounts have been restructured. What's happening? Are you sick? Is this dementia?" There it was. The gaslighting had begun right on schedule. "I'm perfectly healthy, Brittany. I've simply reorganized my finances." "Without telling me? Mom, I'm your daughter. I'm supposed to help you with these things. You're 64 years old. You shouldn't be making major financial decisions without family input." "Family input?" I repeated softly. "Is that what you call it? What's that supposed to mean?" I took a breath. "Brittany, in the past 24 months, I've transferred $214,680 to you. You've repaid exactly 0. You promised every time that you'd pay me back. Were those lies?" Silence. Then, "Mom, that wasn't loans. That was family helping family. You know we've been struggling. Derek's job is unstable. The economy is terrible. And the kids' expenses. Derek just got a $52,000 bonus. I saw it on his LinkedIn. Congratulations to him." Another silence. Longer this time. "You're spying on us now? Jesus, Mom, this is crazy. I'm trying to protect myself. There's a difference." "Protecting yourself from what? From your own family? We love you. Everything we've asked for has been for legitimate reasons. If you're going to be paranoid and selfish—" "Selfish?" I interrupted. The word triggered something. "I paid $19,247 for your family's business class tickets to Aspen. You told me not to sit with you because it would be awkward. Does that sound like love to you, Brittany?" The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. When she finally spoke, her voice had changed. Cold. Calculated. "I think you need to see a doctor, Mom. This paranoid thinking, these accusations, it's not normal. Maybe early-stage Alzheimer's. We should get you evaluated." My hand tightened on the phone. "I'm not sick. Derek and I are concerned. We're going to come visit this weekend. We need to talk about this as a family. We need to make sure you're being cared for properly." "I don't think that's a good idea right now." "Mom," her voice shifted again, softer now, pleading. "Don't do this. Don't push us away. We're all you have. Don't you want to see your grandchildren?" There it was, the threat wrapped in velvet. "I need to go, Brittany." I hung up before she could respond. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, from rage, from vindication. She'd shown her cards. The dementia accusation, the emotional manipulation, the threat of withholding my grandchildren. Sarah had been right. The war had begun. That afternoon I called Gloria. "Baby, I've been expecting this call," she said. "Brittany reached out to me today. Asked if I'd noticed you acting strange. Tried to get me to agree you needed a mental evaluation." "What did you say?" "I told her you were the sharpest woman I knew, and if anyone needed evaluation, it was her. She didn't like that." I laughed despite everything. "Gloria, Sarah mentioned conservatorship. Can they really—" "Let me stop you right there. I've been in family law 35 years. I know the conservatorship playbook when I see it. They get a judge to declare you incompetent. Then they control everything, your money, your health care, where you live. I've seen it weaponized against elderly Black women specifically. Judges sometimes assume we're more susceptible to cognitive decline. Can they actually succeed? Not with what you've already done. You've got Dr. Brooks's evaluation. You've got legal counsel. You've been proactive with planning. But Amara, baby, listen to me. If they show up with a doctor or anyone claiming to evaluate you, do not let them in your house without Sarah present. You understand? I understand. And document everything. Every call, every text, every threat. We're building a paper trail. On January 8th, Derek posted on LinkedIn, "Grateful for family, even in challenging times. Sometimes the hardest decisions are about protecting those we love. Hashtag family first. Hashtag mental health awareness. Hashtag elder care." Comments appeared within minutes. Thinking of you during this difficult time. So hard when parents start declining. Here if you need elder care resources. They were building a public narrative. I was the declining elder. They were the concerned children. I screenshot everything and sent it to Sarah. Her response? "Perfect. They're creating evidence for us. Keep documenting." Saturday, January 11th, 9 a.m. My doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Brittany, Derek, and a man in his 50s wearing a suit and carrying a briefcase. My heart pounded. I texted Gloria. "They're here with someone. Come now." Then I called Sarah. "They showed up with a man. What do I do?" "Do not open the door until I get there. I'm 15 minutes away." I didn't open the door. The doorbell rang again, then knocking. "Mom, we know you're home. Open up. We just want to talk." I stood in my hallway, silent. More knocking. Derek's voice. "Mrs. Thompson, we have Dr. Richard Pemberton here. He just wants to do a wellness check. It'll take 5 minutes." Gloria's car pulled into my driveway 12 minutes later. Sarah's arrived 3 minutes after that. I opened the door. Brittany's face lit up. "Mom, finally." Gloria stepped forward. "I'm Gloria Washington, Mrs. Thompson's attorney and healthcare proxy. Who are you?" She looked at the man in the suit. "I'm Dr. Richard Pemberton, a geriatric psychiatrist. The family asked me to—" "Do you have a court order for this evaluation?" Sarah asked, appearing beside Gloria. Dr. Pemberton looked uncomfortable. "No, but the family expressed concerns about—" "Then this conversation is over," Gloria said firmly. "Please leave the property." Derek's mask slipped. His face went hard. "You're making a huge mistake, Mrs. Thompson. We're trying to help you. When you're declared incompetent, when, not if, you'll have no say in anything. About your money, your health, where you live, nothing." Brittany's eyes filled with tears. Real or performed, I couldn't tell anymore. "Mom, please, we love you. Why are you doing this?" Sarah stepped forward. "Mr. Hayes, you just made a threat in front of 3 witnesses, one of whom is an attorney. I suggest you leave. Now." They left. Dr. Pemberton practically ran to his car. As Derek's Mercedes pulled away, Gloria put her arm around me. "Baby, what you just saw, that was their best shot. And they missed." But Sarah's face was serious. "Amara, they're not done. They're going to file. Probably within the next week. We need to be ready." On Tuesday, January 14th, I received certified mail. Petition for emergency psychiatric evaluation and temporary conservatorship. Petitioners: Brittany Thompson Hayes and Derek Hayes. Respondent: Amara Thompson Court. Date: February 15th, 2025, 9 a.m., King County Superior Court. I sat at my kitchen table reading the document. They claimed I had exhibited erratic behavior, paranoid delusions, and inability to manage financial affairs. They wanted control of everything. I called Sarah. "They filed," I said. "I know. I got the notice too. This is good, Amara." "Good?" "They just made this a matter of public record, which means we can now subpoena their financial records. We can show the court exactly what they've been doing, every dollar, every lie, every luxury purchase while claiming poverty." "How long until the hearing?" 4 weeks. We have time to prepare. And Amara, we're going to win." After I hung up, I walked to my mantel and picked up the photo of James. Taken in 2019, 2 years before he died. He was smiling, his arm around me, both of us at our goddaughter's wedding. "I kept my promise," I whispered to his photo. I'm finally keeping my promise. For the next 3 weeks, I prepared for war. Sarah's paralegal, a young woman named Rachel Kim, came to my house with authorization forms for financial subpoenas. We sat at my dining room table, the same table where James and I had shared 30 years of dinners, and I signed paper after paper. We're requesting 3 years of bank records for Brittany and Derek Hayes, Rachel explained. Credit card statements, loan applications, mortgage documents, tax returns, everything. Will they know? Oh, they'll know. They'll receive notice within 48 hours. I signed my name, Amara Thompson. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Maya and Jordan. What would this do to them? Would they hate me? Would Brittany turn them against me completely? But then I remembered Derek's threat. When you're declared incompetent, when, not if, you'll have no say in anything. I remembered my mother's words in Igbo. A tree that bends for every wind will eventually break. I had been bending for 2 years. I was done bending. The financial records arrived at Sarah's office on January 28th. She called me immediately. Amara, you need to come see this, now. 30 minutes later, I sat across from her desk while she laid out documents like a prosecutor presenting evidence. Brittany and Derek's 2024 tax return, Sarah said, pointing. Joint income, $287,000. Derek's W-2 shows base salary of $235,000, plus bonuses totaling $52,000. She pulled out another document. Their mortgage, $3,400 a month. Car payments, $1,850 monthly. Mercedes G-Wagon and Derek's BMW 7 Series. More documents. Private school tuition for Maya at Choate, $58,000 annually, paid in full in August 2024. Jordan's elite soccer program, $12,000 annually. She kept going. Credit card statements for December 2024 alone. Neiman Marcus, $4,200. Cartier, $7,850. Whole Foods, averaging $600 per week. Country Club membership, $850 monthly. Sarah looked up at me. Amara, they weren't struggling. They were living a luxury lifestyle and using your money to fund it. But the property taxes, paid on time in November, all of them. I have the receipts from the town clerk's office in Hartford. My hands went cold. She lied about the property taxes? She lied about everything. The roof repair? I pulled the property inspection records. No permits filed, no work done. The kitchen mold? No remediation on record. Every emergency was manufactured. Sarah pulled out one more document. And this is the smoking gun. Derek's December 15th bonus, $52,000. Deposited December 16th. Brittany called you on December 17th, claiming the bonus didn't come through and asking for $8,000. I stared at the bank statement. The proof was right there. They're thieves, I whispered. They're financial abusers, Sarah corrected. And we're going to show that to the judge. February 10th, 5 days before the court hearing. I was in my garden pruning the roses James had planted in 2010 when I heard a car pull up. Through the fence, I saw them, all 4 of them. Brittany, Derek, Maya, Jordan. Maya was holding flowers. Gloria was inside making lunch. She came to the back door immediately. Maggie, should I send them away? I looked at my granddaughter holding that bouquet, at Jordan standing uncertainly beside his father. No, I said. Let's see what they want. I walked around to the front. Brittany's smile was bright and brittle. Mom, you're home. We've been so worried. She nudged Maya forward. Maya has something for you. My granddaughter approached slowly, holding out tulips, my favorite, though I'd never told them that. Or maybe I had, years ago, and someone remembered. We miss you, Grandma, Maya said quietly. I took the flowers and kissed her forehead. Thank you, sweetheart. These are beautiful. Brittany beamed. See, we can fix this. Can we come inside, talk like a family? Every instinct screamed caution, but Gloria was here as a witness, and I wanted my grandchildren to see what happened next. All right, we filed into my living room. Derek took James's armchair without asking. He always did. Brittany sat on the sofa, pulling Maya and Jordan close like human shields. I remained standing, Gloria beside me. Who's this? Brittany asked, looking at Gloria with false sweetness. Gloria Washington, Amara's friend and attorney. How nice, Brittany said. The smile didn't reach her eyes. Derek leaned forward, trying to appear reasonable. Mrs. Thompson, we came here in good faith. We want to resolve this before Thursday. No lawyers, no courts, just family. What exactly are you proposing? I asked. Brittany's voice took on a rehearsed quality. Well, first, we'd like you to drop the financial restructuring. Put things back the way they were. Give us back access to your accounts so we can help you manage things properly. And in return, we drop the court petition. We all agree to forget this ugliness and move forward. The kids miss their grandma. She squeezed them tighter. I miss my mom. Don't you miss us? And the money I've already given you? She waved a dismissive hand. Water under the bridge. Family doesn't keep score like that. So you're not planning to repay the $214,000? Derek's expression hardened. That was family assistance, not loans. You gave freely. If you're now trying to claim they were loans, that's a conversation we can have with our attorney. Your attorney who's pushing for conservatorship? Gloria interjected quietly. Brittany shot her a venomous look. This is a family matter. Who are you exactly? A concerned friend and a retired family law attorney with 35 years of experience. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Brittany turned back to me, her voice rising. Mom, are you seriously letting some stranger poison you against your own family? Gloria is hardly a stranger. We've been friends for 50 years. And we're your blood, your daughter, your grandchildren. Brittany's mask was slipping now, desperation showing through. After everything we've done for you? What exactly have you done for me, Brittany? She blinked, thrown. What? I'm asking genuinely. What have you contributed to my life besides requests for money? That's not fair. We invite you to holidays, where I pay for the plane tickets and am told not to sit with you. Derek stood abruptly. All right, enough. Here's the reality, Mrs. Thompson. You have a choice. Drop this nonsense. Restore our access to your accounts, and we can be a family again. Or continue down this path, and you'll never see Emma and Lucas again. Your choice. Their names are Maya and Jordan, I said quietly. He didn't even notice his mistake. The children were props to him, not people. Maya started crying. Daddy, don't... Maya, Jordan, go wait in the car, Derek commanded. Jordan ran out immediately. Maya hesitated, looking at me with tears streaming down her face. It's okay, sweetheart, I said softly. Go on. She fled. Once the door closed, Derek's polite facade evaporated entirely. You're making a massive mistake. We've documented your erratic behavior. The paranoia, the sudden distrust of family. Any judge will see you're not fit to manage your own affairs. Your documentation won't stand up against medical evaluations from Dr. Eleanor Brooks, Gloria said calmly. What do you have? Hearsay and financial motivation. Derek's jaw clenched. Brittany came back inside, her eyes red. Mom, please, she whispered. Please don't do this. I'm begging you. Think of the kids. Think of our family. Is money really worth destroying everything? I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. When had she become this person? Or had she always been this way? And I'd simply been too loving to see it. You're the one who chose money over family, I said quietly. You chose it every time you lied about paying me back. Every time you saw me as a resource instead of a person. Every time you took and never once asked how I was doing. That's not true. When's my birthday, Brittany? She froze. When is it? I pressed. Silence. You called me 3 times on my birthday last year. All 3 calls were asking for money. Not one of them mentioned it was my birthday. Tears streamed down her face now, but I couldn't tell if they were genuine or performed. Get out, I said. Get out of my house. Derek grabbed Brittany's arm roughly. You'll regret this. I don't think I will. They left. Through the window, I watched Derek yank open the car door, saw Brittany sobbing in the passenger seat, saw Maya's small face pressed against the back window, looking at me. When they drove away, my legs nearly gave out. Gloria caught me, guided me to the sofa. Baby, I just cut off my grandchildren, I whispered. No, Gloria said firmly. They did. They weaponized those children against you, and you refused to be manipulated. There's a difference. February 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. King County Superior Court, Department 14. The courtroom was smaller than I'd imagined, with wood paneling and high windows. I sat at the respondent's table with Sarah. Gloria sat in the gallery behind me for support. Across the aisle, Brittany and Derek sat with their attorney, Richard Crenshaw, a slick man in an expensive suit with 2 white teeth. Brittany wouldn't look at me. Derek stared straight ahead, jaw tight. The bailiff called. "All rise for the Honorable Judge Patricia Okonkwo." The judge entered, a Nigerian woman in her early 60s with steel gray hair and sharp, intelligent eyes behind glasses. I felt something ease in my chest. She would understand. Not because she'd favor me, but because she'd see through the performance. "Please be seated," Judge Okonkwo said, her slight accent reminding me of my mother. "We're here for the matter of Hayes versus Thompson. Petition for emergency psychiatric evaluation and conservatorship. Mr. Crenshaw, you may proceed." Crenshaw stood, all false concern and polished rhetoric. "Your Honor, we're here today out of deep concern for Mrs. Amara Thompson, a 64-year-old widow who has recently exhibited alarming behavior suggesting cognitive decline. Mrs. Thompson has, without warning, closed joint accounts with her daughter, restructured her entire estate, and made paranoid accusations against her own family." He called Brittany to the stand first. She took the oath, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Her testimony was a masterclass in manipulation. "My mother has always been so generous," Brittany said, voice breaking. "After my father died, I worried about her being alone. I tried to stay close, to help with her finances, to make sure she was okay. But lately she's been different. Paranoid, accusatory. She claims I've stolen from her, but I've never taken anything. She gave freely because she loved us." "Can you give examples of this erratic behavior?" Crenshaw prompted. "She disappeared for days without telling anyone. She's made allegations that we threatened her, which never happened. She's cut us off completely. Won't let us see her. It's like she's a different person." When Sarah stood for cross-examination, the energy shifted. "Ms. Hayes, you testified that your mother gave freely. Is it true that on December 17th, 2024, she transferred $19,247 to your account?" "Yes, for family plane tickets." "And did you promise to repay her?" Brittany hesitated. "It was a gift for the holidays." Sarah pulled out a document. "I have an email here from you dated December 16th. Would you like me to read it?" She read, "Mom, Derek's company thing fell through. Could you help us out? We'll pay you back in January, I promise." Brittany's face paled. "That sounds like a loan, not a gift," Sarah continued. "Did you pay her back in January?" "We haven't had the chance yet." "I see. And the $35,000 in August 2023 for your kitchen remodel. The email says, 'We'll pay you back when Derek's bonus comes.' Did you?" Silence. "The $22,000 for roof repair? The $18,000 for braces? According to bank records, you've received $214,680 from your mother in 24 months. How much have you repaid?" "None," Brittany whispered. "I'm sorry, could you speak up for the court?" "None!" Brittany's voice cracked. "Ms. Hayes, on December 23rd at SeaTac Airport, what did you say to your mother regarding seating on the plane?" "I don't remember. I have testimony from 2 witnesses. Did you tell her, 'Your flying economy, we're in business class. I don't want you sitting with us'?" Tears streamed down Brittany's face. "It wasn't like that." "Yes or no, Ms. Hayes? Did you say that after your mother paid nearly $20,000 for your family's tickets?" "Yes," she whispered. "But no further questions." Derek was next. His testimony was more controlled, but Sarah destroyed him methodically. "Mr. Hayes, your household income is $287,000 annually. Why did you need Mrs. Thompson's money?" Hartford is expensive. "Your discretionary spending last year was over $100,000. Restaurants, country club, luxury purchases. Yet you told Mrs. Thompson you were struggling. Were you lying?" "We have different definitions of struggling. On December 15th, 2024, you received a bonus of $52,000. On December 17th, your wife told Mrs. Thompson the bonus didn't come through. Was that a lie?" Derek's face flushed. "It's complicated. Yes or no, Mr. Hayes?" "Yes." "Did you threaten Mrs. Thompson with never seeing her grandchildren unless she gave you access to her money?" "I was emotional. Yes or no?" Yes. No further questions. Sarah then presented Dr. Brooks's evaluation, my physician's testimony, and the complete financial forensics. When it was over, Judge Okonkwo didn't even leave the bench. "I've heard enough," she said, her voice hard. "The petition for conservatorship is denied. Mrs. Thompson is clearly of sound mind and has every right to manage her own finances." She fixed Brittany and Derek with a stern look. "Furthermore, I'm deeply troubled by what appears to be systematic financial exploitation. Ms. Hayes, Mr. Hayes, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You took advantage of a mother's love, lied repeatedly, and when she finally stood up for herself, you attempted to use the legal system to regain control of her assets. This is exactly the kind of elder abuse this court takes seriously." Brittany sobbed audibly. Derek sat stone-faced. "This case is dismissed. Court is adjourned." The gavel struck. It was over. Outside the courthouse, Brittany tried to approach me. "Mom, please, don't," I said quietly. "Just don't. We can fix this. We can go to therapy. We can—" "You tried to have me declared incompetent so you could control my money. There's no fixing that, Brittany." I walked away. Sarah and Gloria flanked me. I didn't look back. 6 months later, I woke on a Tuesday morning in July to sunlight streaming through my bedroom window. The house was quiet, the peaceful quiet of a home that belonged only to me. I made coffee, carried it to my back porch, and sat watching the roses James had planted. They were blooming beautifully. I'd learned to care for them myself. My life was full now, fuller than it had been in years. I'd joined the Seattle Black Elders Council, volunteering twice a week to teach financial literacy to seniors. I told them my story, the whole story, so they'd recognize the signs of financial exploitation. Gloria and I had dinner every Wednesday. My book club met Thursdays. I'd started taking watercolor classes where Harold, a widower who made by the window. In June, I'd flown to Nigeria for the first time in 30 years. I'd walked through my mother's village, met cousins I'd never known, stood in front of the small house where my grandmother had sold her gold. I'd wept there, finally understanding what true sacrifice looked like, and what it didn't. The Seattle Times article had come out in March. Local couple attempted conservatorship after receiving $214,000. It was devastating in its clinical recitation of facts, every detail, every lie, every luxury purchase. Derek had been terminated from his firm in April. The reputational damage was too great. Brittany and Derek had sold their Hartford house in May. They'd moved to a rental in Tacoma. Brittany had taken a job as a receptionist, her first job in 12 years. The Mercedes was gone. The country club membership canceled. The private school withdrawn. I felt no joy in their downfall. But I felt no guilt either. On a Thursday in late August, my doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Maya, alone, taller than I remembered, wearing a backpack. I opened the door immediately. "Grandma, can I come in?" "Maya, sweetheart, does your mother know you're here?" I took the bus. I told her I was going to the library. She looked up at me with eyes so much like James's. "I'm 13 now, almost 14, old enough to make my own choices about who I see." My heart swelled. "Come in, baby." We sat in my living room and Maya talked about school, about the move to Tacoma, about how her parents were in therapy, about how her mother cried every night. "She knows she was wrong, Grandma. She's trying to be better." "I'm glad, sweetheart. Are you ever going to forgive her?" I was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know, Maya. Forgiveness is complicated. What your mother did hurt me deeply, but I'm proud of you for thinking about these things." "I've been reading about Nigeria," Maya said suddenly, "about where we come from. I want to understand. Not just the grandma who gave us money. The real you." Tears filled my eyes. "Then let me tell you about your great-great-grandmother. Her name was Kioma, and she was the bravest woman I ever knew. We talked for 3 hours. When it was time to go, I drove her home myself." Brittany answered the door, her face pale. "She came to me," I said before she could speak. "I'm bringing her back safely. But Brittany, Maya is old enough to choose. If she wants a relationship with me, I won't deny her that." Brittany's eyes filled with tears. "I know. Thank you for bringing her home." It wasn't reconciliation, but it was acknowledgement. As I drove away, I saw Maya waving from the window of their small rental house. I waved back. 3 months later, I sat in Sarah's office one more time. "I want to revise the trust," I said. "Tell me what you're thinking." Educational trusts for Maya and Jordan, fully funded for college, graduate school if they want it. But they can't access it until they're 30. And there's a condition. "What condition?" "They each have to spend 1 year learning about their Nigerian heritage. Study abroad, volunteer work, something meaningful. They need to understand where they come from." Sarah smiled. "I love that. What else?" "For Brittany, $50,000. Amara, but it's conditional. She has to complete 1 year of family therapy. She has to write a public apology, taking full accountability. And she has to maintain financial independence for 1 year, no requests for money from anyone. And if she doesn't meet the conditions, it goes to charity." "What about the remainder of your estate?" 40% to the Seattle Black Elders Legal Defense Fund for fighting financial abuse. 30% to a scholarship fund for first-generation Nigerian American students. 30% to Gloria for being my sister when I had no one else. Sarah wrote it all down. Then she looked up at me. "This is a good plan, Amara. It's justice with compassion. It's what my mother would have done." 1 year after the airport, I sat on a bench at Gasworks Park overlooking Lake Union. The December air was cold but clear. Holiday lights twinkled across the water. Gloria sat beside me with 2 cups of coffee from the Vietnamese bakery we loved. "You think she'll do it?" Gloria asked. "The therapy, the apology, the work?" "I don't know, but I had to offer a path back. Not for her, for me, so I could know I'd done everything I could." "And if she doesn't?" "Then I'll know I tried, and that has to be enough." A figure appeared on the path. Maya, wearing a winter coat, walking toward us with purpose. "Grandma!" she called. My heart lifted. "Maya, sweetheart." She sat beside me, breathless from the walk. "Mom wanted me to tell you something. She enrolled in therapy, real therapy, 3 times a week, and she's writing the letter, the apology. She wanted you to know she's trying." "How is she?" "Different, quieter. She's working full-time now. She cries less. She talks about you a lot, about what she did, about who she wants to become." I squeezed Maya's hand. "And you? How are you?" "I'm good. I'm reading a book about Igbo women warriors. Did you know there were queens who led armies?" I smiled. "I did. We come from strong women, baby girl. Never forget that." As the sun set over Seattle, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold, I thought about inheritance. Not money, not houses or cars or business class tickets, but dignity, boundaries, the strength to say no, and the wisdom to know when to say yes again. I'd spent 64 years teaching other people's children. It took losing everything to finally teach my own. The lesson cost me $214,680.